All right, guys, I got JT in the chair. Today I'm gonna show you guys why you should cut the top first, how to go about it, and what that's gonna do for us. All right, guys, so you can see his hair is saturated, nice and wet. I'm gonna make sure we do that so we can get super clean sections. So it's saturated, I found his crown. I combed his crown out in the direction that it wants to go. Now we're gonna start by sectioning the top off. So we're gonna start from the crown, we're gonna go up towards the recession point. Just gonna use the wider teeth of my comb, push up towards the front. You can see we got a nice clean comb lines there. Now because of JT, no offense, he got a little receding hairline like myself. We wanna make sure that we leave most of this length as part of the top. So you guys wanna usually section it with where their hair wants to section. Sometimes that will be at the recession point here at the corner. Sometimes you might need to leave some hair up to the top to kind of make up for that. But most of the time you're gonna just go with their growth pattern. Now if they have a cowlick in the front, we wanna go through the cowlick and split it and cut the side of the cowlick as part of the side. Now you guys see here's the crown here. We'll come from this side towards the front again. If you don't nail it, guys, just do it again. Get a clean section. Again, we'll comb that up, comb the underneath down, and we're gonna treat basically the sides. We're gonna tackle that first, and then we'll do the top. We were just talking before this haircut. He wants to leave pretty much as possible. Perfect haircut to show you guys on because that is the whole point. I guess you can see how much length we have, and what I'm saying is we could easily come in with like a 4-guard or whatever you guys wanna use, but we start cutting this and we take too much of this off, then we have to cut the top to balance with this much hair on the sides or this little hair on the side. So when we wanna make sure that we leave a lot of hair, it is nice to go ahead and section this out, cut the sides, get it set up for our clipper work, cut the top to connect to that, and it's gonna help us maintain all the length through this area right here. All right, guys, so I'm gonna start at the back. This is gonna be our lowest point. So I wanna kind of find his occipital. It's pretty low. It's like down here. And we're gonna basically set our weight line down there. This is where our clipper work is gonna tie in. So you see I'm combing it down, fingers are against the head. I'm gonna cut this line in. Now I'm gonna work my way around. I'm gonna come this way a little bit. Go ahead and do the side that you guys can see on camera, and then we will come back and do this side. But I'm gonna go ahead, follow it towards the front a little bit. Now we can come here, same thing, fingers against the head. You guys see when I comb it down, finger length is against the head. So I'm gonna be able to take my clipper right into that. Now we'll just continue to work our way around. I basically wanna come up to the front and find the same thing. So his parietal ridge is about right here. So I don't wanna go above that. So as I work towards the front, I'm gonna come up just a little bit and set that line right on the parietal ridge. We're just cutting that line in. It's basically a weight line. We're gonna connect the top to it. Clipper work is gonna tie in right underneath it. So work our way up one side. After you guys get it done, you can work your way back through, make sure that it's consistent. And if this is something new to you, I get it, it's gonna feel super weird, but I promise you guys, literally I told JT this is what my video was gonna be about, and he told me that it was something super weird for him at first, but now it's how he does it, and he really understands, you know, why it works that way and why it's better. The same thing here, guys, we're finding the parietal ridge. You put the comb against the head, I can see where it starts to come off. Now I'm gonna come from the back and work my way up to that point. Again, just setting in that weight line beforehand. We'll come in underneath. My finger length is about a 3. We'll probably start with a 4 just to be safe. Cut everything down underneath this to a 4, and then we'll do a little taper. It seems time consuming, it seems difficult, but once you guys get it, it is super easy. And you can see we comb it down, my finger length is gonna tie right into that length right there. All right, guys, so our next step is to split it. I'm gonna say down the middle. It's not necessarily always gonna be down the middle. Again, if somebody has a growth pattern, follow the growth pattern. So let it do what it wants to do, don't fight it. But for JT, we're just gonna split it down the middle, take it to each side. And again, guys, the whole point of this is to make sure that we maintain length where we want it, cut the style that we want, and basically we're gonna connect this to the line we just cut, and it's gonna make sure again that we're leaving all this hair in this area that we want. So guys, you'll see now I'm gonna pull the top out. It's actually pretty much exactly hitting the line that we cut in before, but you guys will pull it out. The more that we elevate it up here, the more we're gonna take off. You see my guide is down here, so it's gonna be a little bit difficult to see. It's actually going straight to the guide, but I can take my scissors, pull it up, find the guide underneath, and we're just gonna connect the top to that first guide. So kind of like doing a lineup, you guys know when you do a lineup, we brush the hair over the line. We make sure that we don't have any hair overhanging. That's basically what we're doing here. So I'm taking this hair to the length here to make sure that no matter how it's styled, nothing's gonna hang over past this. Now, as we work our way to the front, because of his recession, not only am I gonna bring it down further to make it longer, we're gonna over-direct it down, but I'm also gonna start to pivot out at the front. I can already tell he doesn't have much length in the front because of how he wears his front, but we will pivot out and leave as much as possible in this area. I cut my glove, so now just following that same line, you guys see back here is my guide. And we just work our way all the way up. Now it's gonna start to come out. That's okay. We will just edge the front up when we get there. But basically, guys, we have connected that to our first foundation on the sides. We'll go ahead and do that on the other side, and then we can cut the top. And because we've done all this already, pretty much all of his hair will have already been cut. All we're gonna have to do is cut the peak off in the middle. All right, guys, now this is a concept that's a little bit difficult. We just parted it here, we took all this hair all the way over here. So you guys see it will reach all the way over. That means that the hairs here were pulled to the same spot, so they're shorter. So when we pull it up, we should have a peak in the middle. And maybe it was cut at the edges, but it should be our longest point. So I'm just gonna start in the back. I'm gonna take a section, pull it up. You guys see there's a short spot there, short over here, and there is our peak. We just take that off, and we're gonna keep it totally square, guys. Again, the more I start coming over here and cutting this off, we're losing the hair that's going to be in this area, so we don't want to do that. So just move forward slightly, take the next section, and all we have to cut, we just cut all of this to lay over here, so all we have to cut is this middle. We don't want to cut that corner again. We just left it on purpose. We'll just keep moving forward, go through this whole section, and then as we get to the front, guys, I'm going to be a little bit careful because he does need that hair to fill his corners just like me, so we'll be a little bit careful, and once I get to the ears forward, I will actually stop cutting it up here, and we'll cut it off from the front. So you guys can see square, straight across. Another section, we're getting to the front, and I think his hair was super textured last time he cut it. I don't know if I cut it or whoever cut it, but so his ends aren't really dark. You guys can probably barely see what I'm cutting off. And because we over-directed in the front when we were pulling it out, it should get longer as we get to the front. So we're naturally gonna leave more hair. So that's all we're gonna do, guys, up to the ears. Now I'm gonna go ahead, blow dry it. We'll come in and do some clip work on the sides, and you guys will see kind of why we did that and why it left the hair where we want. All right, guys, so you can see now pretty clearly the line that we cut in to begin with. Now that the hair is dry, nice and clean, we can see the top is left alone. We got the length where we want it. This hasn't been cut, but basically right through here, we're gonna come through with a guard. Now, just because we're maintaining so much length, guys, I'm gonna start with a 5 guard just to be careful. Actually, this is a 6. If it's not short enough and it's actually longer underneath here at a 6, then we'll go down a little bit. But I'm gonna come straight up through, and I don't wanna cut the hair that we cut beforehand when we cut the top. I just wanna cut right up into basically where my fingers were against the head. And you guys can see as I do that, we comb it back. We got a nice panel on the sides for us to fade into. All right, guys, so I actually switched to a 5. It wasn't connecting just right. I could still see some length underneath. So I switched to a 5. I'm gonna go ahead and cut everything down underneath. We're gonna come in and do a high taper on the sides, regular kind of low taper in the back, leave as much as we can. If you guys wanna watch the rest of the video, don't go anywhere. That was kind of the point of the video. If you guys want to see the finished haircut and the rest of the video, I will put the guide down below. You guys can follow along and then check out the end product. can see, we were able to leave a lot of that length that we wanted up here in the parietal ridge area. Not too short, able to fill this area, keep it square, get a nice taper underneath. You guys do me a favor and smash that thumbs up if you like this video. Make sure you guys are subscribed. I'm about to do his beard. You guys wanted to see a beard shape up when it's not as full as the one I did before, so it's coming soon. Appreciate you guys watching as always, and I'll catch you next time.